Fogarty Arena here in Blaine. It's time for Coon Rapids Cardinals hockey here on CTN Coon Rapids. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Bill Hupp, filling in for Joe Young today alongside Howie Shapiro. And Howie, it should be a pretty interesting game. Coon Rapids trying to break a 5-game losing streak against these SLP Panthers, and this is a pretty good opportunity for them to do it, coming in with a record of 7-7.
Yeah, no question about that. And certainly, Bill, it's great to do a game with you again, and we always have fun getting together. And this should be a good one. You know, the Cardinals have had they lost one of their top flying players in the Forest Lake game, so they've had to do some adjustments in the lineups. But they're quick, they're fast, and they can score.
Cardinals moving left to right as they are wearing the black uniforms with white lettering, red and white trim. Those are some sweet-looking sweaters there, Howie.
They definitely are. I like those. And
initial shot taken by Caden Alphen, and it's saved. Alphen, the starting center today, the sophomore. Spring Lake Park, meanwhile, in the white with the red lettering and numerals, Blue Breezers, red and white socks, as that was deflected up and out of play, and will take the draw in the left circle of the Spring Lake Park zone here on Parents' Night. I asked if it was senior night. I was told no, just Parents' Night. But
well, see, I happen to be a senior, so I got in free. So it's senior night for me.
Some would say it's always senior night for you. Poke checked away, loose in the slot, and it's clear to the near boards. Nice job, though, by Alphen to steal it. There's a shot from the slot that whistles wide. Alphen tracking it down to the near side corner, trying to bother John Ross. It's out between the rings, another shot, that one whistling high. Coon Rapids off to a flying start here.
You know, we talked to the coach for Spring Lake Park coach before the contest. He said, this is a Coon Rapids team we have to be very careful with because they can score. Their top line is very good, and they've had some issues putting the puck in the back of the net so far this season.
Cardinals coming in, averaging better than 4.5 goals per game. Spring Lake Park, meanwhile, struggling to score themselves less than 2.5 goals a game. As Jacob Rombach skates in. I was talking to his parents before the game. I can see why he's such a talented sophomore defenseman. He's a big guy, and his parents are both good-sized. 2-on-2 back the other way for Coon Rapids. Forced to the near side boards, Eli Bowden. Bowden circling the zone. There's a nice find, and it's deflected up and out of play off the stick of Rowan Bresnahan.
Yeah, he got that puck to Bresnahan and just couldn't get what he wanted on it and had a little too much lift on it. And we will get the face-off.
Minute 45 into this opening period as Tyler Barsness out there to take the draw. One of 4 captains on this Coon Rapids roster. One back to Bush at the right point. His shot is blocked down, and Spring Lake Park skates it out. Had the pleasure of actually last time I called a Coon Rapids boys hockey game, it was on this sheet of ice when they gave Blaine quite a scare last year in the opening round of the section playoffs. Tyler Barsness, I believe, had a couple goals and an assist in that game, and that was a heck of a hockey game. I want to say it finished like 6-4 or something.
Yeah, they did. They gave Blaine all they could handle, and again, Barsness just building off that year last year and increasing his opportunities this year. 18 goals on the year.
Yeah, he's a future Division I player, as is Eli Bowden. And speaking of Bowden, tries to clear it. Recovered by Bush. He goes cross ice with it to Nate Klinzing. Tries to feed Barsness. Bounding puck at the blue line, swept back out to center. That's where Bush collects it, drifts back into his own zone. Klinzing speeding down the right wing, slams on the brakes, feeds a cutting Bowden, who tracks it to the near side boards. Bowden's centering pass misses everyone. Good stick lift by Klinzing. It's just so hard to believe this is the same Coon Rapids Cardinals team that only a couple years ago went 0-18, and now they're 7-7 and very much a program on the come. 2-5 in conference play, a couple spots ahead of Spring Lake Park, which is 1-6.
Well, they've had that great youth program, and a couple of years ago, a lot of these players were on the ice to now were they're successful at the lower levels. So an opportunity for them to increase their game. But yeah, their depth, I think, alone for Coon Rapids much better than it has been in the past.
And let's be honest, they'd have an even better record if they didn't play in such a meat grinder of a conference.
Yeah, absolutely.
The NWSC just as good as it gets. 2-on-1 for Spring Lake Park. There's a shot, a save. Will Wagner sliding out and making the stop. As he was squared to it, Wagner coming in with a record of 5-2 on the season, a .329 goals against average and an .886 save percentage.
Oh, the best opportunity of the night so far for Spring Lake Park, and Wagner's up to the challenge.
Backhanded effort again. Wagner had to be wise to it and makes the save. No Austin Durkop at the backup spot today, so it's Mo in the backup role, played in the junior varsity game, and now serving as the backup netminder here tonight. Faceoff will come down in the left circle of the Cardinal zone.
Well, Cardinals coming off a 5-2 win over Anoka, where Coach Frock said the guys played really well.
Yep, no question about it. 5-2 on Thursday. Cards had 5 different goal scorers. Eli Bowden had 3 assists. Tyler Barsness had 2. Speaking of Barsness, he backhands it for Bowden. Centering pass. It gets tipped to the near side boards. Bush chopping at it. Back to center ice. Cardinals have been in control so far. Barsness wheeling to the zone. Shots 2 apiece. Well, at least certainly in the first couple minutes, it was all Cardinals. Spring Lake Park has asserted itself a little bit. It's deflected off a Cardinals stick and back to the defense. Bowden tries to knock it down. Backhanded off the end boards. Left behind for Bush. Nice little give and go. Here's Tyler Barsness moving to the outside. Tries to walk his way through. Nice job by Jacob Ronbach to steal it away. And Barsness will be among a couple Cardinals going off for a change.
Yeah, Ronbach using that quick stick to knock the puck away.
And he's just got the ideal size you want as well for a defenseman. It's tipped to the end boards. Centered, but only to a Cardinal out front. There's a shot and a save. And even against, and Howie, maybe you can speak to this as someone who sees this Coon Rapids team a lot. Even against a Centennial and a Maple Grove, you're still looking at 4-0 losses instead of a couple of years ago, 19-0.
Even 9-0 losses. Yeah, I mean, and you can just see the improvement in this club. And I know Coach Frock so happy about where his guys are at this point, and just hopefully continue to make that upward movement.
Off the draw, Connor Larson won it and then centered. Coon Rapids right now, the only thing they're doing is losing at the faceoff circle. There's Larson firing off a shot, and that one goes wide. Wagner was square to it, but still, Spring Lake Park putting all kinds of pressure on this Coon Rapids defense. Finally cleared by the Cardinals. Luke Rising gets it into the zone. Scoreless here, 5 minutes into the first period, 3-2 shots in favor of Spring Lake Park. Rombach, the big defenseman, gets into the zone, takes a bump along the left half wall. Bush going to be picked up by Trenton Thiessen, a former Spring Lake Park player. That's deflected off a Spring Lake Park stick, or a Coon Rapids stick rather, to the right wing corner. And then it's flipped cross ice for Bush. Thiessen ducks his shoulder into the right wing corner. Centering pass out front, looking for Tristan Golan. And it evades his stick, and now everyone's got to touch up. And how they transition from defense to offense will be critical. Coach Frock, in talking to him, talked about how they needed to use their speed to their advantage. Well, certainly something they feel they have a lot of.
They do, and in the games that we've done, we've seen that speed, and that really has given them an advantage over teams that maybe aren't as quick. And that's what they're hoping to see if they can do here tonight.
I don't know if you noticed this score from last night, Howie, but eyebrow raising, I thought. Champlin Park 3, Maple Grove 2.
I did see that. That was surprising.
Thiessen moves middle. Nice pass down low, centered out in front. Oh, just off the skate of Caden Alphin. 2-on-2 for Spring Lake Park. Little chip and chase for Dylan Stocky. Wagner out to play it behind his net. Turned over, centered. Now it's Rombach with a wrister, and Wagner makes the glove save.
I'll give a shout out to my broadcast partner and buddy Joe Yund, who's had a procedure. He's home, I believe, watching the game. I know he's back to normal because he's back to watching Sports Night on a loop because he likes to watch himself over and over again, and also prank calling me. So I know he's feeling good.
Some things never change.
No, exactly.
Rombach left point goes down the wall, centered to nobody. Coming down to play it Ian Roll. They're getting pucks to the net. They're certainly getting them in dangerous areas. Bowden and Barsness, and the play is ruled offside. Early thoughts on Coon Rapids here this afternoon, Howie?
Well, I think they're trying to put some pressure in on the net, but I'm a little surprised just 2 shots on goal so far for the Cardinals. But they are doing a nice job of trying to keep it down and then get possession down in the Panther end. But give credit to Spring Lake Park. They've been doing a good job, too, of trying to get some pressure in on the Cardinal net.
Yeah, the record is deceptive.
Yes.
They've come in losing 9 of the last 10, but, hey, had a good start this year. Wagner makes the save and the stop. And the thing that's different than last year when they finished 12-14 and lost 6-3 to Maple Grove in the 5AA quarterfinals, they've lost a lot of scoring. Blake Lueck, the coach's son, has moved on, and they had some other scorers as well that they've just not been able to fill it as well. So 4-11-1, but they started the season pretty well, 2-2, and then they've just hit the skids recently in conference play.
Well,
1-6 in the NWSC.
Yeah, and as you know, it's next man up when you lose that kind of talent from a year ago, and just hope some of your underclassmen step up.
Wagner pokes it free right into the path of an onrushing Panther attacker, and then he sprawls and makes the save. Right idea from Wagner to poke check it free, but lucky that nothing else happened. 7-2 now, shots in favor of the Panthers as we're nearing 9.5 minutes to go here in the first period.
Well, they have been splitting duties earlier in the season with Wagner and Durkop, but as of late, Wagner's been getting the starts in net.
We haven't said his name, but sophomore Byron Cornejo. Cornejo. I was going to get it right eventually. Byron Cornejo. In between the pipes, the sophomore with a 2-and-run record, a .303 goals against average, and an .885 save percentage. Puck won in the neutral zone by Spring Lake Park. D-to-D pass for Coon Rapids as they exit the zone. Cardinals move middle, and then it's stood up nicely by Connor Larson. Oh, Larson all kind of tied up with Thiessen, and then going to try to get the extra attacker on. They can't, but it's going to be a hooking penalty, the first of the game, taken by Coon Rapids. And Thiessen, I think, knew it.
Yeah, so now an opportunity to see what the Panthers can do on the power play.
The junior left winger. And you look at the percentages, Spring Lake Park this year, 15.4 on the power play, and Coon Rapids killing nearly 81% of their penalties. So chance here. Frock thought, and talking to him, he wanted to get on the power play. Good play down low, backdoor effort. Teddy Wackman missed it. 2 minutes for hooking by Thiessen. Rombach goes down low. Center, Larson fanned on the shot. It's loose in front with a body down low. Wagner covers the puck. And now a little bit of extracurriculars around the crease.
Officials telling him to get away from the net, get out in front of it, clear it up. Obviously,
and Coon Rapids defenders doing what they should do.
I was just going to say, protecting their goaltender, and that's what they should be doing.
And it looks like the draw will come back out. Or no, are they going to?
Another penalty?
Cross-check.
Yeah.
Oh, on Coon Rapids on Eli Bowden.
Yeah, that hurts. Yeah, again, Eli's clearing bodies in front of the net, protecting his goalie, and the official caught him on a cross-check. And now the Cardinals are going to be skating a 5-on-3.
Well, I think it's going to be coincidental minors, maybe? Or no, Bresnahan is skating off now.
Yeah.
But it seems like Larson is frustrated. So he must be going off as well. Okay, he is.
Yeah.
So Barsness going off as well. Or no, not Barsness, but Connor Larson going off as well. Off the draw, 1:30 and counting left to go. Jacob Ronbach. So cross-checking, offsetting double minors, coincidental minors. John Ross enters the zone. It's dropped back. Ronbach back at his line. Cross ice pass underneath. The stick poke checked away by Wagner. 52 seconds and counting left on the hooking minor. And then we'll be back to 5-on-5 hockey. Tyler Barsness drops it back. Now it's cross ice for Bush. Barsness trying to kill off valuable seconds. 37 seconds remaining. Barsness with a great move to get to the front, but Rombach takes it away.
Well, the more you watch Barsness, you watch his hands are so good.
Oh, he's silky. He is silky smooth. Ref nearly got taken down there by the.
Got to have those quick, like cat reflexes if you're going to be an official here.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Same officials that worked the JV game.
Double duty for them as well.
Yeah. Big check delivered on Teddy Wackman, and it's forced out of the zone. Covered there by John Ross, who back skates into his own end. Cardinals back to full strength, and it's 5-on-5 on the ice. Banked into the zone and picked up. Beautiful pass ahead for Luke Rising. John Ross with a good recovery. And then a big check by Ross.
I got a nice ooh and an ah from the crowd after that check. Oh,
big check delivered at the blue line. Looked clean from our vantage point.
I thought so too.
Rising delivering that one. 6:21 remaining first period. 8-3 shots in favor of Spring Lake Park. Cardinals 1 for 1 on the penalty kill. With speed, here's Ian Roll. Forced to the wall. He regains the zone for the Panthers. Dropped back, pad save made by Wagner. Wagner has, I think, gotten clean looks at everything he's seen so far. He's made 9 saves. There's a shot and gloved and held on to. Joseph Shipman trying to get his second of the season. But again, Wagner with no traffic in front had a clean sight line.
Yeah, he hasn't been screened at all in any of his opportunities to make saves here. But again, just a lot of action in front of the net for Spring Lake Park here in this first period. As you mentioned, 10 shots on goal. Just 3 for the Cardinals, which to me is a little surprising. They're not getting a little bit more pressure. But
yeah, I mean, it hasn't indicated how competitive this series is. This game has been. Another chance for Shipman turned aside by Wagner. Bounding puck forced out to center and then chipped in deep. Ross with Tristan Golan hot on his heels. Dug out, but held in nicely. Bush with a shot through traffic. It's loose in front, and they score!
I think somebody got a stick on it right in front of the net.
Indeed, and that someone was Tristan Golan.
Yeah, Golan did a nice job of just redirecting that puck into the net. And again, it's just a matter of positioning in front where you are. You get that stick on the puck, just angle it in.
Tristan Golan tips it home, and all of a sudden, it's a 1-0 game, and despite that shot advantage we just talking about, how it being a more even game than the shots would have indicated. And Tristan Golan takes advantage with 5:13 and counting left to go.
That's Tristan's third.
In the period.
Yeah, sorry, it's Tristan's 3rd goal on the year.
Tamden Bush gets the lone assist. Golan from Bush with 5:18 left to go in the first period gives Coon Rapids a 1-0 lead despite being outshot 10-4. That's a greasy goal, and it's something that Coach Frock talked about, needing the gritty goals. Centering pass finally swept away. Nice defense there by Bresnahan, who is another one of those potential Division I players.
Well, and if you're Spring Lake Park, you obviously want to keep Coon Rapids below their goal scoring per game average of 4.5.
While in Spring Lake Park, you look at their struggles to score goals, they might not really be the team that can come from behind once they get in a deficit. A little chip and chase for Spring Lake Park. 4 minutes to go before our first intermission. 1-0, the Cardinals lead it. Centering pass off the stick of its intended recipient. They go back up the wall. In the slot, fired, and that goes wide. Fired off the stick of Mason White. Comes up the near side boards where it's played by Rombach. Underneath for Larson, who's pinned up against the wall. Bresnahan, nice job using his body. Hands stay down, so we play on. Good speed to get into the zone. Thiessen goes down the wall to the right wing corner, and then I'm not sure. I think he thought maybe he had a teammate at the point, but Alphen turns it over. Back in the possession of the Cardinals. Near side for Dylan Bushy. Espinoza, Nicholas Espinoza fires a rising shot that's deflected up and out of play.
Well, Coon Rapids starting to try again, put a little more pressure down in the Panther end. And it's always nice when you're being outshot. I mean, not a huge margin, but when you're being outshot and you get that first goal as the team that hasn't had as much pressure on net. So it puts a little more pressure now on Spring Lake Park to try and see if they can get the equalizer before the end of this first.
Nolan Hazelwood out there to take the draw. He wins it forward, shoots, and that goes wide. I think Coon Rapids has gotten some shots off. They just haven't put them on net.
Exactly.
Hazelwood comes down, chops at it. Roll, picks it up behind his own net. Inside of 3 minutes to go. Shares it near side, looking for Dylan Stocky. It's taken back. Tristan Golan, the goal scorer, tries to cut back inside, but has it taken off his stick. Golan from outside the right circle, and a sharp angle shot that forced to save from Byron Cornejo.
Cornejo just, again, as you mentioned, that was just an interesting angle, the way that shot came in. And he had to make sure he brought it in. He wasn't going to leave that rebound.
Because there were Cardinals lurking.
Yes, there were.
So first line back out there for a second line, I should say, for Coon Rapids. Barsness takes the draw against Caden Lichter. Barsness wins it back to Novak. Anderson, his shot goes high. Comes off those lively boards, and again, Cornejo melts it down, takes the whistle.
He had to, because that puck came right back to him, and it was just right at the side of the net. He had to make sure that he brought that in, because did not want Coon Rapids to get there and see if they can get a stick on it.
Coon Rapids has had the last handful of shots, now 10-6 in favor of Spring Lake Park. Teddy Wackman walks his way through, tries to get to the front of the net. Sprawling intervention defensively by Bresnahan. Comes up the near side boards where Anderson plays it. Tries to force it out of the zone. It's thrown on net. Coming off, trying to stuff it short side. Wackman. But a nice job by Wagner making himself big and shutting down that short side.
Sprawling intervention. That's a good name for a rock and roll band. I like it.
Yeah, is that a rock band or a foreign policy?
Well, it could be that as well.
Sprawling intervention. Foreign policy approach.
Yes.
Face-off coming to the left of Will Wagner. 2:10 to go in the first period. Draw one back by the Panthers. Near side, Ian St. Martin from center point. Still in possession of SLP. St. Martin one more time, and it's deflected off of Thiessen. Loose in front, and Wagner has to sprawl. He has to make a sprawling intervention.
Now that's going to catch on. That's going to be your catch.
That's right. I don't care what we do. Nothing no broadcast moment that we have will ever top Johnson to Johnson.
Yeah,
all they were looking for is a single shot. I'll never forget that. One forward, centered across, bounding puck, and they somehow missed the net. Wagner may have gotten a piece of that.
He must have. Otherwise, I mean, it was wide open on that far side.
Boy, Spring Lake Park is getting pucks to the front, but 3-on-2 now for the Cardinals. Back pass just behind Caden Alphin. 12-6. Cardinals being doubled up in the shot count, but they lead it on the scoreboard 1-0 as we're inside of a minute and a half to go. The captain, John Ross. Nice intervention by Bresnahan to force the turnover. Back in the right circle, flipped up to center ice. Near side for Thiessen, who takes a big check from Mason White. Forced the turnover. Long pass all the way down, and that was a rapid icing. So both teams will take advantage to get a line change.
Yeah, again, the pace is pretty quick here tonight, and I'm sure both teams wanted to make sure they got some fresh legs out on the ice here for the last minute.
Bushy throws it on net. It hits Wackman and gets hit to the corner. Swept out of the zone by Lindquist. Anderson fought off the puck by Caden Lichter. Retreating back Dylan Bushy. Wackman in a board battle left, and there's a sharp angle shot saved by Wagner. Goal line extended, turning, shooting, Wagner, it jiggles over him and in. Oh, Wagner, a hard shot that he initially saved, but eventually it snuck over his shoulder and in, and Drew Lindquist, the first line right wing sophomore, picks up his 6th goal of the season.
Yeah, that was a tough one for Wagner to give up because he had that, he saw that puck, he was looking at that puck as it was almost sitting on his right shoulder, but then it just went over the back of him and into the net. That's a tough one, but a great goal for Spring Lake Parkers. They're able to knot it up at 1 just before the first break intermission.
21.5 seconds left. That's the time of the goal. So what was that, 16:39 of the first period. 9 seconds remaining. Ian Rell gets the assist. It's Lundqvist from Rell with 21 seconds left in the period, and we head to our first intermission. Tied at 1. Howie, your thoughts on that first period of play?
Well, I thought the Cardinals have to be a little disappointed. They gave up that late goal right at the end of that first period, but I think both teams are playing pretty competitively. I think Coon Rapids is trying to use their speed advantage to gain down. You talked about a lot of shots that necessarily did not go on nets, but being outshot 13-6, I thought a pretty even period for both squads.
Indeed it is, and it's even after 1 period of play here in Blaine. 1-1 our score between Coon Rapids and Spring Lake Park. Back with second period action shortly from Fogarty Arena in Blaine. This is Cardinals hockey on CTN Coon Rapids. Back here at Fogarty Arena in Blaine, Bill Hupp, Howie Shapiro. Ready to start the second period of action. 1-1 our score after 1 period of play between Coon Rapids and Spring Lake Park. Cardinals outshot in that first period of play 13-6. I'll be moving right to left in this period. Decent crowd on hand here. The home of Blaine and Spring Lake Park and the Minnesota Moose. Seen some good games here over the years.
I'm sure you have. I like this. It is a nice arena. They call it the Ice House for a reason. It's a little chilly in here, but
yeah,
I don't mind it.
I still got a hat on, Into the zone. Cardinals going to work. Centering pass tipped out to Bresnahan. Shared middle through traffic, closing the 5-hole. And there was traffic at the doorstep. Nate Klinzing against shadowing Byron Cornejo, but he ultimately fell on the puck, and so Caden Alphin will take the draw in the left circle of the SLP zone. Cardinals looked like they were going to head to the first intermission with a 1-goal lead, but they gave up a goal with 21.5 seconds left. A late goal, and that's how we are tied.
Yeah,
probably the right result because it was a fairly even first period.
It was a fairly even first period. It's just a tough goal to give up like they did with that just trickling over his right shoulder.
Ooh, nice save by Cornejo with the pad, and now we've got it coming together to the left of the right near the left post. And that's going to happen every time you have Cardinals rushing to crowd out Cornejo, and that one, he does look susceptible to giving up a rebound, Howie.
Well, he's had a number of opportunities, giving up rebounds and opportunities for Coon Rapids, but they haven't been able to take advantage of those yet. But they know that as well, and they're looking for that opportunity.
So we have our second double minor coincidental penalty of the game, as it is Ian St. Martin and Caden Alphin who will go to the box. 5-on-5 hockey still. Thrown on net, turned aside again by Cornejo, and already the shots increasing in this second period. Cardinals coming out on the front foot. Spring Lake Park trying to get in the zone, and they do, but the play is whistled offside.
Yeah, that, again, just couldn't hold that puck on that side of the blue line before there was movement over it by Spring Lake Park.
Bill Hupp, cameraman Mike Peterson, Neil Hennon directing, and Howie Shapiro on color analysis. Filling in for Joe Yun today. Get better, Joe. A little dental procedure.
Oh, he'll be fine.
2 minutes for roughing both, and Cornejo makes another save and gloves that one. So both teams will get a change. A little more than 2 minutes gone by here in this second period. So that's our second coincidental minor penalties assessed. But already Cardinals out shooting SLP in this period 3-0. It's been totally tilted the ice toward the SLP end.
Well, I think Coach Rock said, let's get some quality shots on net because we know we can put the puck in the back of it. Good things will happen.
Well, you can't score if you don't put the puck on net, obviously. So
this is true.
I don't know much about hockey, but I do know that. Kristen Golan tried to split defenders for SLP, and it's taken off his stick. Bresnahan comes down to play it at the line. Thiessen gets there ahead of Rombach, and then Rombach crunches him into the boards. Up the far side boards and skated out. 3-on-2 for SLP if they hurry. They gain the line on the backhand and then kicked aside nicely by Zach Novak.
Yeah, Novak did a nice job of just kicking it to the corner because, as you mentioned, that 3-on-2 opportunity.
Sometimes you just need to get your skates in the way.
Yep.
Novak is starting blue liner today as Thiessen weaves his way through the neutral zone and gains the line. Thiessen from above the right circle. Shot goes wide. Golan comes down to play it along the right half wall.
You know Thiessen would love to score here against his former squad.
For sure, yeah. So far, his only time in the score sheet has been in the penalty box. Klinzing at the line, backhands it down the wall. Bowden chasing after it. Bowden heavily involved early. We haven't called his name as much recently. Bush spins away from pressure. Now Spring Lake Park tries to get something going offensively here in this period. Little give and go, good hustle by Joseph Shipman. He tries to stuff it short side and can't. Puck loose in the right wing corner. Hazelwood gets to it first. Bowden walls off Ian Roll. Scored the lone goal for, I beg your pardon, Drew Lundquist scored the lone goal as that puck is lofted up and out of play.
Yeah, nice little drop back to him to just get an opportunity to see if he can get a shot on net, but as you mentioned, just up on the netting.
So the draw will come to the right of goaltender Byron Cornejo. A couple sophomore netminders, Cornejo and the coach's son Brock Lewick, splitting time this year for the Panthers. It's swept out of the zone back to center ice. Golan gets it out of his skates. And then it's intercepted quickly by Mason White. Two teams just sort of trading turnovers in the neutral zone. Glove down at the right point and then swept in deep. Bresnahan has it go off his stick. Back up to the left point. Shot doesn't get through, goes right back, and then again hits a Coon Rapids Cardinal out front. Loose puck glove down by Bresnahan. He'll skate it out of the zone. Rowan Bresnahan works to the outside, tries to feed Golan, but the pass is intercepted nicely by John Ross. White will loft it up and out to center ice. Intercepted there. Golan has to touch up. Now he'll go off as Cardinals get it in deep and try to set up the forecheck. John Ross with speed into the zone. Ross centering pass, trying to hit a cutting White, and it's underneath his stick. There's a shot and a save. Nice save by Wagner. Good forechecking by the Panthers to keep the pressure on. Rombach comes down, sharp angle shot, and fortunately Wagner was tight to that near post.
Now a little bit of pressure being applied by the Panthers as they've got their first 2 shots on goal here in period number 2. Testing Will Wagner, but he came up strong and made sure he made the save and forced that face-off to his right.
15-10 shots now in favor of Spring Lake Park. Cardinals win the draw, and Bush wheels away from pressure. Tipped out by Bowden, 3-on-2 for the Cardinals. Into the zone, turned aside. Bowden tracks that to the right half wall, forced out of the zone, and then his pass is intercepted. 2-on-2 for the Cardinals. Beautiful move to get free by Wackman. Wagner makes a couple terrific saves, and then finally dives on it.
Wow.
Will Wagner with 3 really good saves right there and gets a big hug from his defense, including Nolan Hazelwood.
Yeah, actually, he was the one hugging Hazelwood before this to make sure that he kept that puck out of the net, and he was able to dive on and fall on it.
So it was Hazelwood's stick that prevented
exactly.
Okay. A whole big scramble, because what happened, Wagner made the first save, rebound made the second save, and then he was sprawling in Hazelwood. And we might have a penalty coming up. Teddy Wackman dragged down in the slot. And for the second time tonight, the Cardinals have to go on the penalty kill, and it's guilty party once more. Trenton Thiessen, maybe a little amped up playing against his former team.
I would think that he is. You know, he certainly wants to get the best of them here tonight, but he certainly can't get the best of them when he's sitting in the sin bin.
No, cannot, and that was a pretty obvious call. I think it'll be either tripping or hooking. We'll see what the official announcement is. John Ross goes across to the left circle, centered. Wagner makes the stop. Short side, and it's up to the near side ball.
And they did call tripping.
9:49 the time of the penalty. They do call tripping. And once again, it is Trenton Thiessen who's taken both of the Cardinal penalties tonight. Trying to kill things off shorthanded. Great job by Alfing to force it out of the zone. This is where the special teams have to come into play. Cardinals, pretty good penalty kill this year.
Well, you talked about it, 81%.
Wagner makes the save, denying Drew Lundqvist, who was gunning for his second goal. And the whistle stops play. 1:17 left on the Thiessen tripping minor. Shots now 19-10. Spring Lake Park, who were a little on their heels to start things in the second period, but they have asserted themselves, and now 6 minutes gone by here in the period. Coon Rapids wins the draw and rings it around. Bowden takes a whack at it in the right wing corner, flips it to himself, and then lofts it out to the neutral zone. Ross gloves it down at center ice. Bowden continues to apply pressure, snaps off a shot, and it goes wide. Up the near side boards, beautiful no-look centering effort by Barsness, but right to Jacob Ronbach. Ronbach works to the outside, drops back, and then Bowden intercepts the pass. He weaves his way, trying to walk his way through, and Ross stands him up and takes the puck away.
Yeah, nice defensive move by Ross as he's able to stay with him, wouldn't let him get around.
Barsness picks the pocket as Bowden collects it at the line. And Coon Rapids can't believe, but the whistle stops play. Still not entirely sure why.
I'm not sure either.
Draw will take place at center ice. It looked like a good long entry pass from our vantage point, but fresh penalty killers out there now and power play units for both teams. And now Eli Novak will be. I wonder if it was too many players on the ice.
It could have. Yeah, I think so.
Too many players on the ice. The call. So now 5-on-3 for the next 32 seconds, and then it'll be a minute and 28 seconds of man advantage for Spring Lake Park.
Well, so far the Cardinals have been able to stave that off, but we'll see again. How many times can you play short? As you mentioned, 32 seconds of 5-on-3, and then they'll have that other extra almost minute and a half.
Rombach fires one. He had Larson acting as a screen in front of Wagner. It's too high. Ross nods his head and changes places with Rombach. Ross down low, goal line extended. Wagner makes the save. Wackman back out to Rombach. He walks in, down low, score!
Yeah, again, it's just so difficult to fight off a 5-on-3. If you got a team that's good at moving the puck around, and they found that player right there at the far side or the near side of the net to us, and he's able to poke it home, and Spring Lake Park takes the lead.
Teddy Wackman on the doorstep all alone. Beautiful find from Jacob Rombach, who should get the primary assist. And it's 2-1 Spring Lake Park. And that goal coming at the 9:53 remaining here in the second period on the power play. First power play goal of the night.
The Cardinals now skating 5-on-4, so they'll still be shorthanded for minute 20.
Yeah, that's a good point. 9:53. Rombach the lone assist on that. Wagner makes the save, and now the shot's starting to pile up in favor of the Panthers. They lead it 2-1 after scoring with 9:53 remaining on the power play. Teddy Wackman, his 8th goal of the season to go along with 8 assists. And what a find by Jacob Rombach from his defenseman position. He's now into double figures in points. He's got 6 assists to go along with 4 goals.
Well, if they can make some hay here in this next minute and see if they can put another puck in the back of the net, they'll really put a lot of pressure on Coon Rapids.
No doubt about it. Rombach can't hold the zone, and Barsness comes away with it. He moves middle before he's bumped off the puck. Or rather, Alphin. Alphin out to Thiessen, who has his pocket picked. Here comes the speedy John Ross. Ross into the zone, holds. Back up for Rombach. No, this is Rombach. Fanning on the shot. Good stick in the passing lane by Alphin. Just out of the reach of Larson to the near corner. Ross at the right point. Gets by Thiessen. Ross stood up nicely and retains the puck. Back out to Rombach. In front, turned aside. Wagner makes the first save, second save, and then the shot goes wide. Ross skates middle, over for Rombach with 7 seconds remaining. You hear the stick of the goaltender letting his teammates know. Rombach gloves it down. Finally, it's flipped out of the zone as Novak comes over. So Spring Lake Park 1 for 3 with the man advantage as Larson tips it in the zone and waves off the icing. Cleansing up ahead looking for Barsness. Ian St. Martin gets there first. Which team can stay out of the box more? That's certainly something, and I know that Coon Rapids felt good about their power play, but they have yet to enjoy one here tonight. Barsness leaves it behind in the neutral zone. Avoids an on-rushing checker. Tic-tac-toe passing is Bowden into the zone. Turned aside by Cornejo. Back for Bresnahan at the point. His shot driven down. Poked ahead, good transition here. Shipman can't get there first. Stolen, however, by Anders Holland. Bresnahan looking for it, centering pass all the way on high. St. Martin through traffic, and Wagner saw it and made the save.
Well, it's interesting how the momentum has changed early
Very
on.
much.
Coon Rapids, they got those first, I think, 3 or 4 shots on goal before the Panthers were able to get anything on net. But all of a sudden, now the Panthers spending the majority of their time down in the Cardinal end, and we're looking at shots 23-11 now in favor of the Panthers, and they're up 2-1.
Off the faceoff, they love winning that faceoff forward. Does Connor Larson. There's a broken piece of timber on the ice. 7 minutes remaining before our second intermission. Cardinals trail at 2-1. Cleansing into the zone. Drops it back, trying to hit Thiessen, and instead it's intercepted by the Panthers. White drops it back. Good intervention by Alphin. Now it's a 3-on-2 for the Cardinals. Banked ahead. Golan trying to get there. He does. Centers, and it bounded away from his onrushing teammate. Here come the Panthers trying to transition. Back and forth. Very open game we have.
Yes, it has been.
Thiessen has his shot blocked by John Ross. Gets the puck back. Ross intercepts the centering pass. White banks it in the zone. Wagner comes out to play it. Shots 23-12 in favor of the Panthers. Fired on net, but wide. Thiessen. Circle to circle. Rombach collects it back in his own end. Beautiful pass ahead. There's a shot, and Wagner makes the save off a Caden Richter. Richter, a freshman, 6 assists. He's been on the top line for the Panthers, but still searching for his first high school goal.
Yeah, Cardinals really just can't get any kind of momentum offensively. I mean, give credit to the Panthers because they've been controlling possession. But again, that offense not able to get on track here in the second period so far.
Face-off coming to the right of Will Wagner. Ian Roll can't keep it in the zone. And the play rule offside. 24-12. Cardinals being doubled up in the shots on goal category. Both sweaters pretty impressive from each team.
Yes.
Draw one, and Shipman puts it on net. Handled comfortably by Wagner. Anders Holland, forcing a save from Wagner. Stopped 23 shots that he's faced tonight. Anderson chasing after it. Watch out. Puck flying up into the crowd.
Yeah, much like the Spring Lake Park was in that first period. Coon Rapids now in the spot where they're trying to see if they can get the equalizer before the end of the second period.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, there's still plenty of time left in this second period. But
certainly, Cardinals would love to give the Panthers a taste of their own medicine.
Absolutely.
Ross in the left wing corner. Loses it to Bowden. Eli Bowden trying to center it, looking for Thiessen. Cross ice pass finds its way to Lundqvist, the goal scorer. He's got his pocket picked by Cleansing. There's a shot. Teddy Wackman looking for his second, but Wagner makes the stop. To the near side boards. Ross takes it away. Thiessen backhands it, held in the zone in the slot. That shot doesn't reach Wagner. Lundqvist back to Ross at the point. Little wrister turned aside by Wagner. Getting pucks on net, though. They've done so all game, and that should be another shot on goal, at least by my tally. Lundqvist loses the puck right to Lichter. Wagner tried to sort of poke check it free and ultimately kind of made a meal of it, had to dive on it.
Yeah, he had to make sure he brought that in because as he kind of fanned on it a little bit, didn't get any his stick on the puck the way he wanted to, and smartly made sure he just brought it in and forced that face-off.
I just used that phrase, made a meal of it. As a larger fella, I don't know what's wrong with that. What's wrong with making a meal of something?
Hey,
why is that a negative phrase?
I'm a big fan of making a meal of it as well. So
yeah.
You're not going to get an argument from me.
Rombach through traffic has his effort saved. Well, we thought it would be a competitive game, Howie, and it has.
It certainly has.
I think maybe Coon Rapids were hoping they'd have a little bit better of it.
Well, at least some more shots on goal for sure.
Sure. Yeah, more even on the shots on goal, but it's been pretty even overall. Larson fanned on the shot. It's loose in the slot. Cleared but not out. Roll walks in through traffic. That goes wide. Rombach down low for Larson. He sweeps it along. Larson keeps it alive. Chance from a sharp angle. Saved by Wagner. Nice job coming over to defend by Zach Novak. Still in the possession of the Panthers. Hits a stick and is deflected out of the zone. Forces Rombach to go back and collect. Plays catch with Roll. It allows the Cardinals to kind of get out of their own end as Bowden steals it. Captain Eli Bowden with speed. To the middle, to the slot, and his shot whistles wide. More of that is needed from Eli Bowden in this game.
Oh, it certainly is. I mean, and Barsness too.
One-timer and a save made. He was set up in the shooting slot. Great find by Bresnahan. But ultimately, Jacob Rombach regains the zone for the Panthers. Inside of 3 minutes to go, second period. 2-1, Cardinals trail it. Bounding puck held in the zone by Ross. He goes down the wall, goal line extended, centering pass. Bresnahan got a stick to it. Ross comes off the wall. It's centered in front, bounding puck missed the net. Oh, a chance there for Carter Wolter, but he couldn't put it on. Now it's Larson who plays catch. He gets it back. Bresnahan blocks down his shot. Back to Ross at the right point. Ross's effort hits Barsness. Thiessen tries to go back to Barsness, and Ross steals it away. Ross with a needed intervention. Ian St. Martin back at his line. 2 minutes to go for our second intermission. Cardinals searching for that game-tying goal, but Spring Lake Park has been the closest to scoring lately. Great hustle to get there first by Anders Holland. Centered, but right place, right time for Bush. Bowden, and then it's swept out of the zone. Intercepted by Ross. Had no break in the action, Howie.
Yeah, these guys got to be tired.
Long shifts as St. Martin's shot goes wide. Rombach chases after it. Coon Rapids exits the zone. Here comes Bush down the left wing. Work to the outside, poke checked away. Chipped in deep. With about a minute left in the period. Big check delivered by Anderson.
Oh, he scored.
And they score! Well, credit Nolan Hazelwood for forcing the turnover. And then it was Tristan Golan getting the tally, his second of the game.
Well, and the angle of that shot too, it was just great. And he was able to find the back of the net on that one.
That goal coming with 1:02 remaining. That goal coming at the 15:58 mark of the second period. And just what we talked about, Coon Rapids gets the late equalizer, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, they've been outplayed in this period.
No doubt.
Panther fans looking for a penalty.
They called that unassisted, huh? Wow, I personally would have given Hazelwood a little stick tap on that. Tristan Golan came into this game with 2 on the season. He's got 2 in this game, and it's 2-2 now, 50 seconds left.
Nothing like doubling up your scoring output for the year.
Yeah.
In one game.
Thiessen gets the pass back and gains the zone. Serves me right for taking my eyes off the ice.
It happens. It's a quick moving game.
Rising, Bowden tried to tip, but he didn't have his angles right. 27 seconds left. Golan tied up by Ross behind the net. Held in at the point by Rising. And now a 2-on-1 as Wackman comes back. He's got Lundqvist to his right, takes it himself. Wagner makes the save. Another save! And then Wagner doesn't appreciate Teddy Wackman going right into him. And Wagner takes exception to Wackman running into him after he made the first couple stops.
Yeah, he's out of the crease, I understand, but I certainly don't understand why, he would be upset that he came into there. I get it, his retaliation there. Fortunately, nothing is called.
I do feel sometimes, though, I mean, they're going so hard down that ice, I feel like sometimes it's almost inevitable. But Wagner's got to defend himself, too. So face off to his right with 9 seconds remaining. Larson tied up, wins it. Bounding puck back to the slot. Ross trying to get there. It's kicked and then cleared as time expires here in the second period of play. Well, after Spring Lake Park tied it late in the first period, Coon Rapids, despite being outplayed in the second period, ties it with a minute to go. And we head to our second intermission. All square at 2 here from Fogarty Arena in Blaine. Back with second period analysis and third period play shortly from Blaine. This is Coon Rapids Cardinals hockey on CTN Coon Rapids. Bill Hupp and Howie Shapiro back at Fogarty Arena in Blaine as the third period gets underway. 2-2 our score. Coon Rapids tying it with a minute to go in the second period. And despite being outshot for the game 30-14, it's 2-2 on the scoreboard as the Cardinals look to pick up a nice road win in conference play. They're their third of the season. There's a shot. It doesn't reach Will Wagner in the Coon Rapids net. Seems like Wagner and backup Austin Durkop have kind of split time this year.
They have, but Wagner's been given a little more time now.
Bowden trying to split defenders, and he's taken down. Ian St. Martin denied him, and that was about as clear-cut a penalty as you'll ever see.
Yeah, I don't even think he needed to commit that penalty.
No.
That's the thing that's head-scratcher about it. But nonetheless, you talked earlier that the Cardinals have not been on the power play. Now they will get their first chance with the extra skater.
For the first time tonight, yep. Cardinals go on the power play. They're 31.7% this year. Looking to get the go-ahead goal. Spring Lake Park killing off 71% on the season. Bounding puck, kind of handcuffed Cornejo. It's swept down to the other end.
And you talk about a wide open net. Unfortunately, there were no black jerseys there to push it home.
Cross ice pass, back by Barsness to Bowden. Thiessen. Down low, goal line extended. Cardinals work it around with 1:23 left. Thiessen trades places with Bowden. Thiessen makes a move, sharp angle shot. Cornejo makes the stop, and then a whistle stops play. I think the net was knocked off its moorings.
Well, I think it got caught in the back of the net, too. To me, it looked like I thought it went in the net, but I saw it resting on the back of the net.
Barsness moves in, wins the draw cleanly to Novak. Novak goes down the boards, hounded by Mason White. And White eventually steals it and banks it off the far side boards and all the way down. Spring Lake Park, for what it's worth, 1 for 3 on the man advantage. First power play of the night for Coon Rapids. Barsness makes a nice move, centers, and his pass is cut out and then banked out of the zone. Coon Rapids certainly would take a couple penalties, a couple power plays here in this third period.
They would.
As Barsness regains the zone. Splits defenders for Bowden's centering pass. Fanning on the clearance. Barsness tied up. Nice job by John Ross to force it out of the zone. Now it's 2-on-1. Ross across. Wagner makes a terrific sliding save.
Oh, and a nice feed to get the opportunity for the chance. But as you mentioned, Wagner just coming across, doing the splits, getting the save, and great opportunity there for Spring Lake Park, taken away by Will Wagner.
Oh, Wagner shut the door on Jay Balsimo, who had a wide open net. And Wagner did the splits and made a potentially game-saving save. Now Ross picks it up at his line, turns and fires it back in the zone. Still 6 seconds, 5 seconds remaining on the man advantage. Wagner denying a shorthand opportunity for Spring Lake Park and keeping this hockey game tied at 2. Luke Rising gets it in the zone. Hazelwood chases it to the corner. At the left point, down low, Hazelwood cutting to the net just out of his reach. Hazelwood back to Bush at the right point through traffic. Rebound loose. Initial stop, and now Cornejo along the end boards way out of his net.
He's taking a chance coming out like that, but felt that he was the only one with the opportunity to stop the puck. And as Coon Rapids trying to attack and take the lead.
Coon Rapids can't take advantage of the power play. It's back to a 5-on-5 situation as the draw will come to the left of Byron Cornejo. He sounds like some sort of royalty. Byron Cornejo. I like it. Raumbach off the draw, rings it around for Lindquist. Tried a little give and go. It didn't come off. Good forecheck here by Coon Rapids. They eventually get it out to center ice, but I like how Coon Rapids has started this period, Howie.
Well, yeah, they want to come out here and be aggressive. They love to get that road win here tonight, as you talked about, and get that section win, their third of the year. And they want to continue to apply pressure.
Roll can't keep it in the zone. He and Raumbach back to play it. Good forecheck applied by Coon Rapids. Cardinals and Alphen doing battle along with Matt Stolberger. Haven't really called his name much tonight. It's eventually carried on out by Ian Roll. Roll ducks his shoulder, center, they score!
Oh, what a big goal. I mean, a great play, that centering pass right there where it needed to be.
Teddy Wackman, his second of the afternoon, and it was all set up. Tremendous play by Ian Roll to pick up his 8th assist of the season.
Yeah, tough one to give up for the Cardinals, but give credit to Spring Lake Park. They just made the perfect offensive play, and he was able to dish the puck and a good shot to put it behind Wagner.
That goal coming even strength with 12:49 to play in the third period. Can't imagine anybody but Roll will get the assist. He's got no goals, but he has, and he just ducked his shoulder and got past Dylan Bushy, I believe it was. And 3-2 now our score. That shot deflected up and out of play.
Yeah, the Cardinals have to be careful, giving the puck up in their zone.
For Wackman, it's his 9th goal of the season. Indeed, Roll gets the only assist, and Spring Lake Park has scored a goal in each of the 3 periods here tonight. They have a 3-2 lead as we're just over 4.5 minutes gone by here in the third.
Yeah, plenty of time remaining, Bill, and obviously, and the way this has been tight all game long, it wouldn't surprise me if the Cardinals at some point tie it up.
Well, and credit to Wackman for knowing to sort of roll right down the slot. Wagner turns aside a backhand effort. That right pad coming in handy tonight for Will Wagner. Golan, who's got the 2 Cardinals goals on a hat trick, fires it wide. Barsness been quiet tonight. He chases after it. Hounding Mason White, who goes behind his own goal. Barsness at center ice. Wheels back into his own zone and charges ahead. He regains the zone with a head of steam. Drops for Bowden. Shot and a save by Cornejo. Another shot. Cornejo spills it into the crease. But Spring Lake Park able to get there. And then a whistle stops play.
Not sure why a whistle was blown.
I don't know either.
It's not like the goal came off.
I just tell it like it is.
I understand. I try to explain it, but this is something I'm not sure about.
I don't know either, but fortuitous, I would say, for Spring Lake Park, because those are some glorious chances for Coon Rapids. 19 shots now in the game for the Cardinals on the SLP goal. Ooh, what speed from number 10, Nate Klinzing. He is a fast skater as he wheels away from the pressure of Dylan Stocky. Finally finds a pass out. It's banked off of Rombach and into the zone. Icing waved off. Roll gets there in the right wing corner of the Spring Lake Park zone. Long pass. Icing waved off again. Tandon Bush gets there first. Banked up to the line. Coon Rapids coaches want a penalty, and they'll get a penalty. So for the second time this period, the Cardinals will go on the man advantage.
Yeah, clear penalty right in front of the official.
Ian Roll, and I believe Roll had the first one as well. So Roll's been busy assisting and also committing penalties. Or no, it was, I beg your pardon, it was Ian St. Martin. I get my Ians confused on the Panthers.
It happens.
Yeah. Roll, or rather, Mason White fires it down to the other end off the draw. Roll 2 minutes for roughing. That's kind of a silly penalty to take given that your team's only leading by a goal. And just 1:30 left on the power play. Thiessen from the slot, shoots, it's loose in front, they score! Eli Bowden, Johnny on the spot with his 11th goal of the season.
Yeah, just a nice job by Thiessen to get it to net. And we've watched them give up rebounds all day long. That time a great opportunity there.
This hockey game's tied at 3 after Eli Bolden tapped home the wicked wrister from Trenton Thiessen, who picked up one of the assists on it.
As I mentioned, I was not surprised the way this game has played out so far here through the first 2 and then part of this third, very even.
Not surprised at all. So really, Coon Rapids only trailed for 2.5 minutes before they retied this game. On the power play, most critically.
And 6:40 on the third period. Power play
Goal at 6:40.
Eli Bowden, assisted by number 22, Trenton Thiessen, and also number 19, Tyler Barnes.
So ultimately, Thiessen and Barsness get the assists, and for Barsness now, Howie, he's scored in every game in which the Coon Rapids Cardinals have not been shut out.
He's a special player. There's no doubt about that.
And he's got now 14 assists on the season, 32 points in his terrific junior campaign. not to be outdone, Eli Bolden now with 11 goals and 17 assists. And not surprised those two studs were involved in this game-tying goal. You look to your leaders to provide the offensive spark, and they've certainly done that here. Stolen back by the Cardinals, pass intercepted by Teddy Wackman, who's on a hat trick. Barsness regains the zone, tries to drop for Bowden. Instead, Wackman at center ice will pitchfork it in deep. Bresnahan gets there first for the Cardinals. Inside of 9 minutes to go here in the third period. 3-3 our score. Bresnahan fanned on the pass. Mason White gets there first. White walks the line, and then his pass is intercepted. Beautiful backhand from Bowden. Looking for Tristan Golan, but it's cut out nicely. Rombach, long stretch pass, intercepted. Bresnahan at the line. Taken back now. 1-on-1. Wagner sticks that aside. We've had a very entertaining third period so far.
Well, this whole game has been entertaining, but it's going to be a fun last 8 minutes of this third period.
Barsness works to the outside as he gains the zone, and now, I was worried that was going to be a trip on the Cardinals.
I didn't think so. I think he kind of lost an edge. I don't think he got the contact.
Hard to tell from where we're at, but ultimately Cardinals flip it in deep and try to catch Spring Lake Park on a change. Roll. Hounded there by Alphen. Now Rombach loses it. Thiessen forced out of the zone. Cleansing. Banks it in for Stahlberger, who sweeps it around. Actually goes off the corner, and Cornejo had to be live to it. Roll intercepts the pass behind his own net. 36-20. Shots in favor of Spring Lake Park. But it's 3-3 where it counts on the scoreboard. Hazelwood goes back down low. Pass intercepted by Thiessen, who walks to the net, and Cornejo makes a stop. Coon Rapids getting turnovers and really pinning SLP down on its own end. Inside of 7 minutes to go. Thiessen, a one-timer off, missed the net. Moves to the slot. Good recovery here by Alphen. Long shift for these Panther defenders. Rombach intercepts it. I'm sure they'd take an icing right now. And that's exactly what they do.
Yeah, I mean, so much speed for Coon Rapids, and Spring Lake Park was having a difficult time dealing with that. And you are correct. They're gonna trade the icing for fresh legs on the ice.
Face-off coming to the right of Will Wagner down in the, or beg your pardon, Byron Cornejo down in the Panthers' end. Off the draw at the left point, down goal line extended, trying to feed Bowden in the slot. Bowden keeps it alive, zone's held at the left point. Coming down and chopping at it, Tyler Barsness. Bowden kicking at it. Barsness back up for Eli Novak. He was always sliding wide. And again, the Panthers struggling to exit their zone. Big check delivered, and we've got a penalty coming up. And not a great time for that penalty. Panthers will go on the power play with 5:55 to play here in the third.
Yeah, disappointing one for the Cardinals at this point in the game. As you mentioned, time remaining. We're tied at 3. Now you give the Panthers that extra skater opportunity, which is going to put pressure on the penalty kill unit for the Cardinals.
Tristan Golan, the guilty party, third penalty of the game. Taken by Coon Rapids. They're 1 for 2 on the kill tonight so far. Ian St. Martin fires it on net. They had a net front presence, but ultimately Wagner saw it all the way and held on with the glove.
Yeah, they're looking that hopefully maybe a rebound will come up out in front, but as you mentioned, Wagner, solid opportunity there. Just grab that glove and force the face-off.
Draw one forward. Coon Rapids gets to it first. Back up the wall for St. Martin, left point. Yeah, St. Martin gets it back. Shares across. Now it's down low. Back up high for roll. 2 minutes for roughing, the call. Firing it cross ice, looking for Mason White. Roll near side for St. Martin. Shoots and scores!
Wow.
And I think it's the net front presence. I'm pretty sure it was redirected in by Jay Balsimo.
A big goal for the Panthers there. Again, they're able to apply that pressure, as you talked about, and able to put it in the back of the net to take that 4-3 lead with 5:22 remaining. But again, we've seen both teams score late in the period to tie things up. We'll see how this next 5:22 plays out. But now all of a sudden the pressure is on Coon Rapids after giving up the power play goal.
Does feel destined for overtime, but the second power play goal of the game given up by Coon Rapids. And that's just a tough one for Will Wagner, who was screened, and Balsimo just, and Ian St. Martin, credit to him for making it happen, putting the puck on net, and Balsimo was right place, right time, and he redirects it home to give Spring Lake Park a 4-3 lead here late in the third. It is Balsimo from St. Martin on the power play with 5:22 remaining. As face-off will come down, and now a decision eventually for Aaron Frock to make. What time do you take your time out? Hazelwood on the ice to take the draw for the Cardinals. He wins it back. Good pressure, though, to force it free. Picked up, and now Mason White centers it. Great back check effort to force the turnover, and then ultimately Wagner dove on it. Didn't see quite who that was, but what a play to back check and disrupt that shot.
Yeah, because that was a great scoring opportunity for the Panthers. They were looking to go up by 2 goals and try and solidify this win. But great job defensively for Coon Rapids, is giving them trouble. And as you said, Will Wagner falls on the puck, and now they'll have the face-off to his left.
And a great centering pass, too. Everything was right.
Yeah, it was.
As Ian Roll misses the net with that shot. Larson kicks it down and wires one around. John Ross picks it up at center ice. He'll drift back to his line. Puts a player hopping right off the bench. Centering pass. He had Wackman and Larson in the vicinity. From the point through traffic. Good shot block to force the turnover. Thiessen into the zone. Moves to the slot and fires it wide. Larson along the end boards. 3:56 and counting here. Bush puts it on net, and again, Cornejo decides to just melt it down. Probably the wise decision, but Coon Rapids needs more of that, just putting pucks on net and seeing what happens.
Well, yeah, they definitely do. I mean, 21 shots on goal for Coon Rapids in comparison to 39 for Spring Lake Park. But you know, all it takes is one. Doesn't matter what you're being outshot by. If you can put it in the back of the net, you're going to tie this thing up.
39-21 shot advantage for the Panthers for this game. Ahead for John Ross. He lowers his shoulder. Good angles played by Rowan Bresnahan. Forced back out to center, but Spring Lake Park recovers the puck. Rombach through neutral zone ice. To the outside, Rombach. Circling the zone, slams on the brakes, right wing corner. To Wackman, who's on a hat trick. Ross throws it on net, stick to side by Wagner. Off the side of the net, loose in front. Bounding puck saved again by Wagner.
Yeah, he had to clear that away.
Ultimately taken back by Tyler Barsness. Inside of 3 minutes remaining in regulation. That pass just behind Bresnahan, and then he staples Mason White to the boards. Eli Bowden has his pocket picked by Larson. Larson loose in the slot. Great back check again by Bowden. Here comes Tristan Golan, who stood up by Ross. Throws it toward the net where it's stopped by Cornejo. And now Coon Rapids just needs some extended zone time, which they haven't had much of recently. Way out of his crease, Will Wagner decides to take the whistle with 2:16 left in the third, and the Cardinals trailing 4-3.
Yeah, and you talked about if Coach Frock was going to take his time out. You also have to be concerned about now with 2:16. When do you put your goaltender?
Well,
timeout called
Coach
now.
Frock decides to take his timeout now, and this you would think is when the goalie gets pulled.
Yeah.
Get the extra attack around the ice.
Well, in the way the Coon Rapids can pressure and score, that hopefully will make some sense to get that extra attacker now down by a goal with just a little over 2 minutes remaining.
Shots in the period as close as it's been all game. 10-8 in favor of SLP. Will Wagner tonight has stopped 36 of 40 shots. And I can't think of any soft goals that he's surrendered. They've been pretty good.
All the goals given up tonight have been definitely earned.
Wackman with 2 goals, Lindquist with a goal. But the big one, Jay Balsimo redirecting one on the power play. And what's funny is I'm pretty sure he's the smallest guy on their power play unit, and yet he is the net front presence in their power play, and certainly skilled enough to redirect it past an Ian St. Martin effort. And that's the go-ahead goal. That goal coming at 5:22 of the third period.
Being the smallest guy on the ice would make Joe Yunt, that's his favorite player, because he always loves the smallest guy on the ice. That's his favorite.
Off the draw, loose in front. Wagner makes a couple saves, still jamming at it. And now a bounding puck is finally swept off the near side boards and all the way down. Rising tried to get there first, could not. Instead, Ross will send it for St. Martin. Wackman up for Lichter at the line. Ross, stretch pass up to Caden Lichter, who gains the zone. Tries to hit a cutting White. Eli Bowden weaving his way out of the zone. Rombach poke checks it free in front of his own bench.
There goes the goaltender.
1:25 and counting left, third period. Extra attack around the ice for Coon Rapids. Barsness into the zone. The centering effort off the skate of Ross. Centered in front in the crease, but they didn't have anyone there, and it's banked off the window and all the way down. Icing the call, and that's going to stop the clock with 1:08 to go here in the third period, and a 4-3 deficit for Coon Rapids.
Timeout.
Coon Rapids takes the timeout.
The 1:08.
To talk about things with 1:08, and so it's, obviously if we win this draw, we do this. If we lose the draw, we do that. Shots now for the game, 41-22 in favor of the Panthers. And it has been an entertaining hockey game. I certainly think Coach Frock may have thought there'd be a few more shots on net, but despite that, give credit for Coon Rapids. They've erased 2 one-goal deficits. They've come back twice to tie it. Can they do it for a third time?
Well, like I said, nothing would surprise me in this game, because Spring Lake Park did it in the first. Coon Rapids did it in the second, both late period goals to tie the score. Now we're again late in the third period with Coon Rapids down by 1.
If you're curious, Coon Rapids' last wins over Spring Lake Park came 5-0 and 5-4 in 2018-19. Shot in front, right at the feet of Eli Bolden. I believe the shot from the point hit Bolden, and then he wasn't sure where the puck was. Inside of a minute to go, third period. 4-3, a big shot blocked by SLP. Centering pass by Thiessen, it's flipped all the way down the ice. And icing stops the clock with 44.2 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Cardinals just continue to try to apply that pressure in with the extra skater. Spring Lake Park doing what they can to defend it off. And when they have the opportunity, they try and clear that puck down the ice, hope for that one goes in the net for an empty net goal.
Barsness wins the draw. Thiessen along the right half wall, tries to center it, and it's swept out of there by Jacob Rombach, who nearly hits an open net. You can hear the crowd. That obviously would have sealed it for Spring Lake Park.
It's about
SLP looking to pick up their second conference win.
It's about as close as you can get, Bill.
And Rombach, just a great job of getting that big body in the way and intercepting the pass. Spring Lake Park looking to make it 6 straight over the Cardinals. Rombach off the draw win, just kind of gets it tied up in the right wing corner. It comes out of the reach of Bresnahan and all the way down. Icing is the call, stops the clock with exactly 20 seconds to go.
And the Panthers just trying to kill it off, holding on to that slim 1-goal lead.
4-3. Coon Rapids trails it. One forward, Rombach gets there first. Cardinals force a turnover, 14 seconds left. Eli Bowden tied up with Jacob Rombach inside of 10 seconds. Trying to dig it out. It's banked off the near side boards and all the way down. Bresnahan gets it, and that'll do it. Spring Lake Sport Park scores on the power play with less than 6 minutes to go, and they win a tough one tonight over Coon Rapids by a final of 4-3. They've got a 6-game winning streak now over the Cardinals and Howie Shapiro. It was a game effort by Coon Rapids, but just not enough on the road this afternoon.
Well, no, nobody could say this wasn't an excellent hockey game. You know, back and forth, and as you mentioned, Coon Rapids just, even with that extra skater, couldn't apply enough pressure to get that tying goal, and they're gonna drop to 7-8 on the year.
0-for-3 on the power play tonight, and as you said, they're dropped to 7-8 on the season, and 2-6 now in conference play. Spring Lake Park, meanwhile, picks up its second Northwest Suburban Conference victory. They improved to 2-6 as well, and 5-11-1 overall. So that'll do it tonight here for us from Fogarty Arena in Blaine. I'd like to thank Neil Hennon, our producer-director, Mike Peterson, our cameraman. For Howie Shapiro, my color guy, I'm Bill Hupp saying good evening from Fogarty Arena in Blaine, where again the final, Coon Rapids falls in a tough one to Spring Lake Park, 4-3. Thanks for watching this presentation of Cardinals hockey on CTN Coon Rapids.